You're listening to the Top 1 English Plus podcast.
Welcome to Top 1 English Plus, the podcast where we explore global trends to elevate your English fluency. I'm your host, and today we're taking an advanced look at a transformation that is reshaping the very fabric of the global economy.
It's great to be here. And, reshaping is absolutely the perfect word. We are looking at a fundamental evolution in how technology interacts with business and, well, how it interacts with all of us, really.
Before we jump right in, I just have to mention the mission of our show. We aren't just here to talk about tech trends. We're here to help you, our listeners, master high-level English.
That's right.
We're going to be using some pretty sophisticated vocabulary today, some complex ideas. So for everyone listening, think of this as your masterclass in the language of future business.
Absolutely. And there's no better way to learn a language than in a context that is, genuinely fascinating. And this really is.
Okay, so let's set the stage. We're talking about a shift, a big one, from generative AI, which I think by now everyone is pretty familiar with, the chatbots, the image creators, to something new called Agentic AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be honest, when I first saw this topic, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Well, it just feels like every single week there's a new revolution in AI. First it was text, then images, then video. Is Agentic AI actually a new paradigm? Or is it just, a new marketing term a company invented to boost its stock price?
That is the perfect question to start with. And I appreciate the skepticism. I really do. The term agentic does sound like it came straight out of a consultant's buzzword generator.
A little bit, yeah.
But if we look at the reports we've pulled together for today, and we're not talking about light reading here, we're looking at deep analysis from Gartner, from the MIT Center for Information Systems Research, IBM, Capgemini, Boston Consulting Group.
Yeah, heavy hitters.
The heavy hitters. And the consensus among them is that no, this isn't just a rebrand. It's a fundamental functional shift in what AI can do.
Okay, so convince me. Convince the listeners. What is the core difference? Lay it out for us.
Okay, let's think about how you use something like ChatGPT or Gemini right now. You sit down at your computer, you think of a prompt, you type it in, and you wait for a response. The AI generates something, text, an image, some code. But then what happens?
Then I have to do all the work. I read it. I usually have to edit it so it doesn't sound like a robot wrote it. Then I copy it, paste it into an email or a presentation, and then I'm the one who clicks send.
Exactly. You are the bridge. You are the project manager. The AI is a tool, a very powerful one, but it's passive. It generated the content, but you provided the agency, the decision, the volition to take that content and do something with it. You're the one who decides if it's good enough and where it goes next.
So generative AI is like a brilliant research assistant, but it doesn't leave its desk unless I tell it exactly what to do.
That's a perfect analogy. It's a talented intern. You say, draft me an email, and it does. But if you walk away and don't give it another command, it just sits there. It won't do anything else until you come back.
Okay.
Agentic AI.
Huh?
That's not the intern. That's the project manager who you hired to run the project. You don't say, draft an email. You say, schedule a meeting with the CFO of Acme Corp for next week to discuss Q3 earnings. And then you walk away.
And the agent? What, just sends an email?
It does so much more. The agent accesses your calendar to see when you're free. It might interface with the CFO's scheduling agent to find a mutually available time. It drafts a professional invitation. It handles the back and forth negotiation. Oh, Tuesday at 2 is no good. How about Wednesday at 10? All without bothering you.
Wow.
Then it generates the video conference link, adds the event to both calendars, and sends you a reminder 10 minutes before it starts. It didn't just write something, it executed an outcome.
Okay, now I see the distinction. It's really clear now. One is about creating an asset, like a block of text. The other is about achieving a goal. Output versus outcome.
That's it. Output versus outcome. But then that leads to the really big question, the dangerous one.
The dangerous one, which is...
If I let an AI loose to negotiate on my behalf, how do I stop it from, say, accidentally agreeing to $1 million contract when I wasn't looking? How do I trust it?
The guardrails. That's the billion-dollar question. And it really brings us to the core of what we're exploring today. The rise of what these reports are calling the agentic economy by 2030.
Exactly. We're moving from a world where AI is a tool, like a very smart hammer, to a world where AI is a coworker, a digital coworker. And just like any coworker, you have to build trust, and you absolutely need rules and guardrails.
Guardrails. That's a great word for you listening. It just means safety limits, rules of engagement.
Correct. And the timeline for this is Well, it's startlingly fast. The reports from CreatorDB, and especially Gartner, suggest that 2026, that's just around the corner, is the tipping point.
The tipping point from what to what?
From hype to execution. From companies talking about what they could do with this technology to companies actually implementing it in core business processes.
Let's put some numbers on that. I'm looking at the Gartner prediction right now. By 2030, they predict Agentic AI will make at least 15% of daily finance decisions autonomously.
Autonomously, that's the key word. No human clicking an approve button.
And 15% might not sound like a huge number, but when you think about the sheer volume of financial transactions happening every second around the globe, that's massive. We're not just talking about approving a $5 expense for a coffee.
No, we're talking about automated inventory purchasing, optimizing supply chain logistics, even reallocating corporate cash reserves between different international banks to chase a slightly better overnight interest rate.
So the company's AI agent essentially wakes up, sees that interest rates in Singapore just picked up by half a basis point,
Yeah.
and instantly moves a few $1,000,000 there from an account in Frankfurt.
Precisely. And it does it at 3 in the morning, faster and more efficiently than any human team could. The CreatorDB report frames this perfectly as the shift from tools to coworkers. The AI is proactively monitoring, planning, and executing. It's not waiting for you to log in on Monday morning.
That sounds incredibly powerful. But I have to imagine also a bit daunting for businesses that are, let's be honest, still struggling to get a basic customer service chatbot to work properly.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, most chatbots I interact with can barely tell me a store's opening hours without having a complete meltdown.
You're right to point that out. There is a huge gap between the state of the art, what's possible in the lab, and the state of the practice, what's actually deployed. But the research from the MIT Center for Information Systems Research is pretty clear on this. Companies don't really have a choice but to figure it out.
Adapt or die, basically.
It's the classic business evolution story. If your competitor has an army of AI agents working 204/7 to optimize every single cost and delight every customer instantly, and you're still relying on humans answering emails between 9 and 5, well, you're not going to be in business for very long.
It's an arms race, but for efficiency.
It is. And MIT actually went a step further and identified 4 distinct new business models that are emerging specifically because of this technology. And this framework is so useful for getting your head around how companies will change. It's not just add AI and hope for the best. It's a structural transformation.
Okay, let's unpack these 4 models. This is where it gets really practical. Let's go through them one by one. The first one they call existing plus R.
Existing plus R, right? This is the entry point. The most accessible model. You can think of it as the crawl phase before you can walk or run in the agentic world.
So you're not changing your fundamental business.
Exactly. You keep your current business model. You sell phone plans, you sell shoes, you sell insurance, but you augment it. You add a plus of AI to make everything you already do more efficient.
And the source material gave a really clear example of this. One New Zealand group.
Yes, the telecommunications company. A perfect existing plus case study. They are using AI agents internally to help their employees find information faster and externally to handle common customer questions.
So they're still a telco. They haven't changed what they sell.
Not at all. But the delivery of their service is being turbocharged. So for you, the customer, instead of being on hold for an hour to ask about your data roaming charges, an AI agent can likely answer you instantly.
And for their employee, instead of digging through, 100 different technical manuals to find one specific detail for customer, they just ask their internal agent and get the answer in seconds.
That's it. It's about doing what you already do, but better, faster, and cheaper. It's an upgrade.
Okay, that makes total sense. Low-hanging fruit. But the second model, this one is called customer proxy. And this sounds, a bit more radical and maybe a bit suspicious, if I'm being honest.
Suspicious? Tell me more. Why suspicious?
Well, the word proxy means someone acting on your behalf, right? So in this model, the company gives me an AI agent that is supposed to act in my best interest, the customer's best interest. But the company is the one who built and paid for the AI. So whose side is it really on? Is it trying to help me, or is it trying to upsell me?
You've just put your finger on the central tension that defines this entire model. It's a fascinating dynamic. In the customer proxy model, the AI is designed to act on behalf of the customer to achieve a specific outcome, within, of course, a set of guardrails.
Okay, give me a concrete example.
Let's take a bank. A traditional bank sells you products, a mortgage, a credit card, a savings account. A bank using the customer proxy model gives you a financial health agent.
A financial health agent.
Yes. And let's say you have a credit card with them at a high 20% interest rate, but you also happen to have a few $1,000s sitting in a savings account with them earning, a tiny 0.5% interest.
A situation many people find themselves in.
Right. And a traditional bank loves this situation. They're making a killing on your high interest debt. But a customer proxy agent would be programmed to act in your financial best interest. It would pop up and say, hey, this is mathematically irrational. I recommend we immediately move your savings to pay off this high interest debt. This will save you $500 in interest payments over the next year.
But wait, why on earth would a bank do that? They'd be voluntarily giving up that sweet high-margin interest revenue. That seems to violate the first rule of capitalism.
It seems counterintuitive if you're only focused on maximizing profit from a single transaction. But the customer proxy model is playing the long game. It's a strategic shift from prioritizing short-term revenue to prioritizing long-term trust and customer retention.
Ah, I see it now. So the bank loses a bit of interest income today.
But they gain a customer for life. Because now you feel like your bank genuinely has your back. You trust them. You stop shopping around for better rates because you believe your agent is already doing that for you. The product is no longer the credit card. The product is trust. The product is the outcome of financial well-being.
You become locked in by trust, not by annoying contracts or high switching costs.
Precisely. It's a huge pivot. It's moving from selling financial instruments to selling financial peace of mind.
Wow, okay, that's a big idea. Let's move to the third model, the modular creator. This one sounds a bit like Legos.
Legos is the perfect mental model for this. In the modular creator model, the company's AI acts as an assembler. It takes different plug-and-play components or modules and snaps them together to create a completely bespoke solution for one specific customer instantly.
And these modules, they could be the company's own products or even products from other companies.
Exactly. The example in the MIT report was about insurance and finance. Imagine you want to start a small business, say a coffee shop. In the old world, you'd go to a bank for a loan. Then you'd go to an insurance broker for liability insurance. Then you might need a lawyer for incorporation papers. It's a huge, fragmented hassle.
Right, a dozen different meetings.
In the modular creator model, you tell the AI your goal. I want to open a coffee shop. The AI doesn't just offer you a small business loan. It instantly assembles a coffee shop starter pack bundle. It pulls a loan module from its banking division, adds a property insurance module from its insurance division, and maybe it even grabs a third-party legal services module from a partner law firm via an API.
And it bundles it all together into one single tailored package.
Tailored exactly to your specific situation, your location, your risk profile. It's hyper-personalization at a scale that humans could never, ever achieve. A human loan officer simply doesn't have the time or knowledge to build a unique legal insurance financial product for every single person who walks through the door. An agent can do it in milliseconds.
It's moving from mass production of products to mass customization of solutions.
That's it, exactly. And that brings us to the fourth and final model, which the MIT researchers called the most advanced and, frankly, the most ambitious, the orchestrator.
The orchestrator. The name itself sounds grand.
It is. This is the big picture, the end game for some companies. In this model, the AI isn't just bundling a few products. It's actively coordinating a vast dynamic ecosystem of both internal and external services to deliver a high-level, ongoing outcome for a customer.
So it's like the customer proxy model, but on a much, much larger scale.
Much larger. The example often used is a fully managed wealth solution. This isn't just an agent picking a few stocks for you. This is an orchestrator AI that is continuously optimizing your entire financial life.
What does that entail?
It's managing your investment portfolio across different brokerage platforms while also implementing tax loss harvesting strategies in real time. It's monitoring your real estate holdings. It's automatically rebalancing your 401k. It's adjusting your insurance coverage based on life events it detects. It's moving cash between high-yield savings accounts. And it's doing all of this, 247 across dozens of different providers, without you ever having to log into a single website.
The AI is the conductor of your entire financial symphony.
A perfect metaphor. It orchestrates all the different players, your bank, your broker, your insurance company, your accountant, to work in perfect harmony.
That is profound. It's the ultimate fulfillment of that idea we talked about earlier. The shift from selling products, like a single mortgage or a stock trade, to delivering a holistic outcome, like long-term financial security.
And that is the absolute core of the agentic economy. We are moving from selling things to selling results.
Now, this massive shift, it isn't just happening in these, high finance or tech sectors. The research from Capgemini and others points to an equally massive revolution in something we all do every day. Retail. They're calling it agentic commerce.
Agentic commerce is going to completely change how we shop, or maybe, more accurately, how we don't shop.
How we don't shop. My wallet likes the sound of that, but I'm guessing you don't mean we're all going to stop buying things.
Oh, no, not at all. We'll probably spend just as much, if not more. But the process of shopping, the endless scrolling, the comparing of tabs, the reading of reviews, much of that is going to disappear. Capgemini frames this as a fundamental shift from discovery to selection.
Discovery to selection. Okay, break that down for us. What does that mean?
For the last 20 years, online commerce has been about discovery. You, the human, go to a website like Amazon, you type running shoes into the search bar, you then have to scroll through page after page of results to discover the product you want.
Right, the onus is on me to find the needle in the haystack.
Exactly. In the future of agentic commerce, the process is inverted. Your personal AI agent already knows your foot size, your running style, your brand preference, your budget, and that your current shoes have run about 500 miles and need replacing. It does the selection for you. Brands are no longer trying to be discovered by consumers. They are trying to be selected by AI.
That's a huge mental shift for anyone in marketing or branding. And I saw a pretty startling statistic on this in the Commerce and Future Commerce report. It said 41% of Gen Z and Gen Alpha are already using AI every week for shopping advice. They see the AI as a co-shopper.
That term co-shopper is so important. For younger generations who grew up with this technology, the AI isn't some creepy robot. It's a trusted companion, a friend that knows your style, your values, your budget better than anyone.
And this leads to an even more extreme concept from the Trend Korea 2026 report, which they called zero-click consumption.
Zero-click, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's where algorithms anticipate your needs so accurately that the purchase happens with 0 clicks from you.
So my smart fridge knows I'm about to run out of milk and just orders it.
Yes. Or your agent knows you always order pizza on Friday nights and that you're running low on laundry detergent. It bundles the orders, finds the best price, and places them. You might just get a single notification on your phone saying, your Rickery essentials are on their way. Swipe to confirm. Or maybe, in the future, you won't even need to swipe. The products just arrive.
Okay, I have to stop you right there. Because from a consumer perspective, this sounds like utopia. I mean, I hate having to remember to buy toothpaste. But if I'm a toothpaste brand, this sounds like an absolute nightmare.
It's a nightmare for the unprepared, yes.
Because if the AI is making the choice, that completely upends the entire industry of online advertising and search engine optimization, doesn't it? As a brand, I no longer care about ranking #1 on Google for best toothpaste. I care about being the one and only option that my customer's AI agent selects.
You have just hit on what is arguably the most technical but the most critical business challenge of the next decade. We are witnessing the death of SEO, search engine optimization, and the birth of GEO, generative engine optimization.
GEO. Okay, we need to unpack this because for 20 years, the entire digital economy has been built on one simple rule.
Yeah.
Get to the top of Google search results.
And how did you do that? You played a game. The game was keywords. You'd stuck the phrase, best organic coffee beans, into your website's text 12 times, hoping the Google algorithm would see it and rank you higher. You were writing for a robot, but you were ultimately trying to catch a human eye.
Right. It was a bit of a clumsy art.
A very clumsy art. Well, the new robots, the LLMs and the AI agents, they are far more sophisticated. They don't care about keywords. They care about structured data, about facts, and about relationships between facts. They are looking for true machine readability.
Machine readability. What does that mean in practice? If I'm that company selling organic coffee, what do I have to do to win at GEO?
Okay, imagine your website right now is like a messy desk covered in beautiful handwritten brochures about your coffee. A human can look at it and, with some effort, figure out what's going on. But an AI agent just sees a confusing jumble of pixels and words.
Okay.
To win at GEO, you need to turn that messy desk into a perfectly organized filing cabinet. Every piece of information needs to be in a labeled drawer. You use structured data things like schema markup or JSON LD for the technical listeners that explicitly tells the AI in its own language. The price of this product is $14.99. The origin of these beans is Ethiopia. The acidity level is 2 out of 5. This product has a fair trade certification.
You're not leaving anything open to interpretation. You're giving the machine cold, hard facts in a format it can instantly process.
Precisely. And the reason this is life or death for brands is because of how the agent works. The agent isn't browsing your beautiful website, it's querying a database. If a user's preference is set to find me a fair trade coffee under $15 with low acidity, the agent filters its database for products that meet all 3 criteria.
And if my website doesn't explicitly state acidity level 2 in a machine-readable format,
The agent skips you. It doesn't guess. It doesn't try to read your marketing copy and interpret what a smooth, mellow flavor might mean. If the data isn't there as far as the AI is concerned, your product doesn't exist. You are not even in the consideration set.
so in the old world of SEO, being on page 2 of Google was bad. In the new world of GEO, being the AI's second choice means you get 0 sales. You are completely invisible in that transaction.
Exactly. It creates a winner-takes-all dynamic for becoming the default choice in the algorithm. The stakes are just incredibly high.
That's intense.
Yeah.
It really brings home the top one in our show's name. You literally have to be the top 1 choice for the machine.
That's right. And this whole transformation, it's not just about how we spend our money, it's also about how we earn it. The sources we reviewed point to a radical transformation of work in finance.
Yes, and this brings us back full circle to that AI coworker idea. I'm looking at another Gartner prediction. By 2030, they say 25% of all IT work will be performed by AI agents alone, not augmented, not assisted, done entirely by AI.
A full quarter of the workload, completely automated, and the other 75%, that will be done by humans who are augmented by AI. So if you do the math, that means 100% of IT work in 2030 will involve AI in a core capacity.
And that must have a huge ripple effect on leadership and management roles. The report specifically mentioned that the role of the CIO, the Chief Information Officer, is going to shift dramatically.
It has to. The CIO's job is no longer primarily about managing teams of people. It's about designing and orchestrating fleets of autonomous systems.
Orchestrating is definitely the word of the day.
It really is. The key management question shifts from, did your team complete this task, to, are my autonomous systems interacting correctly and achieving the desired business outcome? It's a shift from being a manager of people to being an architect of systems.
And in the world of finance, this is enabling something they called touchless forecasting. Which, again, sounds like a dream come true for anyone who has ever spent a miserable weekend battling with a broken Excel spreadsheet.
Touchless forecasting really is the end of that manual quarterly forecasting scramble. Right now, in most companies, financial planning involves a lot of humans in a room arguing about assumptions, manually pulling data from different systems and plugging it into a model.
It's slow and often political.
Very. In a touchless system, an AI agent is continuously ingesting data from thousands of sources in real-time: internal sales figures, external market data, macroeconomic indicators, even weather patterns, and it constantly updates the company's financial forecast.
So if a sudden event happens in the market, your forecast adjusts in seconds, not in weeks.
Yeah.
It gives companies a sort of real-time radar for the business environment.
Exactly. But there was another concept in this section that I found even more, well, mind-bending, and that was the idea of programmable money.
Yes. Both IBM and Gartner talked about this. They predicted that by 2030, 22% of all monetary transactions will be programmable. What does that actually mean? Is my dollar bill going to start writing code?
It essentially means the money itself has logic and conditions embedded within it. You can think of it like a smart contract, where an AI agent is given economic agency. It's authorized to make payments, but only when a very specific set of conditions are met.
Okay, walk me through a real-world example of that. How would programmable money work?
Let's use a global supply chain example. Say you're a company in Germany importing avocados from a farm in Mexico. In the old world, this is a mess of invoices, bills of lading, and letters of credit. It can take weeks, even months, for the farmer to get paid after the shipment arrives.
Right. A huge amount of friction and delay.
A huge amount. With programmable money and AI agents, it's completely different. An agent at the German company monitors inventory. It sees avocado stock is low and autonomously places an order with the agent of the Mexican farm. The avocados are shipped. Now, here's the key part. The shipping container has IoT sensors monitoring temperature and humidity.
To make sure they don't spoil.
Exactly. When the ship docks in Hamburg, the AI agent instantly reads that sensor data. If the data confirms the avocados were kept at the perfect temperature for the entire journey, the agent automatically and instantly releases the payment to the farmer's agent.
The moment the condition is verified, the money moves.
Instantly. The money was programmed with the rule. Pay the supplier if and only if the goods arrive and the quality sensor data is within acceptable parameters. No human has to approve an invoice or sign a check. The transaction is touchless.
Wow. The money itself contains the business logic. That truly gives the AI agency in the economy. It's not just reporting data, it's a first-class participant in a transaction.
It is, but, and this is a huge but, for any of this to work, for an AI to be trusted to order your groceries or pay for a shipment of avocados, it needs one critical thing: context. It needs to know what's going on.
It can't operate in a vacuum.
It can't. And this brings us to a really fascinating new concept from the Web Clues source: the critical importance of creating an enterprise memory.
Enterprise memory. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. The collective consciousness of a corporation.
It's not that far off, actually. Think about the biggest frustration with technology today. You have a long chat with a customer service bot, the connection drops, and when you reconnect, the new bot has no idea who you are or what you just talked about.
Total amnesia. It's infuriating.
Or think about it inside a company. A key employee who has been there for 20 years retires, and all of their knowledge, all the context behind why certain decisions were made, it just walks out the door with them.
Right. And suddenly no one knows why you use a particular supplier, because Bob was the only one who remembered the reason, and he retired last year.
Exactly. Enterprise memory is the solution to that. It's a digital infrastructure, a unified layer that is designed to capture and store the entire history of the organization. Every major decision, every customer interaction, every internal policy, all the unwritten rules, it provides the context.
So when a new AI agent comes online, it can instantly access this memory and understand the history. It can remember, for instance, that we stopped using that supplier 3 years ago because they had 3 late shipments, or that this specific customer prefers communication by email before 10 a.m.
Correct. Without an enterprise memory, your AI agent is brilliant but has amnesia. It's like a genius who wakes up every morning with no memory of the past. With enterprise memory, it becomes a seasoned, competent employee who knows the history, the culture, and the nuances of the business. It's what provides continuity and allows the AI to make smart, context-aware decisions.
That's a powerful way to think about corporate data, not just as a passive archive to be audited, but as an active, living memory for your digital workforce.
It's the absolute foundation. Without memory, there can be no true agency.
Now, I want to pivot for our final section. We've talked a lot about efficiency, automation, zero-click commerce. And it all sounds very impressive, very fast, very profitable. But if I'm being honest, it also sounds a little sterile, a little cold. Is that all there is to this agentic future? Just making everything hyper-efficient?
I am so glad you asked that. Because if that's where the story ended, I think it would be a pretty bleak future. But the research from sources like Innova Consulting and Dentsu points towards a much more hopeful and human-centric vision, a concept they call World 5.0.
World 5.0. Okay, that sounds like a major software update for humanity.
That's a good way to put it. The core idea is a shift in purpose. We're moving from tech for business, where technology is primarily optimized for corporate profit and efficiency, to tech for people, where technology is directed towards human well-being and planetary sustainability.
I like that framing. Tech for business versus tech for people.
And within this World 5.0 vision, the Innova Consulting report introduces the idea of the regenerative autonomous enterprise. The ultimate goal here isn't just to automate a business, it's to create a business that regenerates.
Regenerates, as in to restore or renew.
Exactly. To create business models that actively restore and revitalize the environment and society, rather than just minimizing harm or sustaining the status quo. It's about giving back more to the system than you take out.
That's a beautiful idea. But how does agentic AI, which we've been talking about as this engine of efficiency, actually help with that? I mean, isn't AI a huge energy hog? Data centers consume enormous amounts of power.
That's a very real and very important concern. The energy footprint of AI is a massive challenge we have to solve. However, the application of agentic AI has the potential to create efficiencies that save far more resources than the AI itself consumes.
How so?
Think about waste in our global supply chains. We overproduce so many things: food, fashion, electronics, that just end up in landfills. Imagine an agentic supply chain that is so perfectly optimized, so predictive, that it reduces overproduction to near zero. We only make exactly what is needed.
Because the AI was able to forecast demand with near-perfect accuracy.
Exactly. Or imagine AI agents managing the energy grid of an entire city in real time. They can balance the load second by second, ensuring that we use renewable energy like solar and wind at the precise moments it's most available, and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. It's the key to enabling a true circular economy.
So the incredible computational power of the AI allows us to manage a level of complexity in our physical world that the human brain just can't handle.
That's the hope. We can't manually track every kilowatt of energy or every gram of raw material in a global system, but a fleet of coordinated agents can.
But there's a paradox at the heart of all of this, isn't there? The Dentsu report had a great name for it. They called it the friction paradox.
Ah, yes, the friction paradox. It's such a vital concept to understand. It's the deep tension between our human desire for seamless convenience and our equally deep craving for meaningful connection.
We want the zero-click shopping experience, but we also don't want to lose our humanity in the process.
Precisely. The paradox is that as AI becomes more and more autonomous, as it removes all the friction from our lives, the value of the human touch doesn't disappear. It becomes a premium luxury.
We'll let an agent handle the drudgery, paying the bills, reordering detergent, scheduling appointments. But because all that boring friction is gone, we might find ourselves craving, well, good friction, meaningful interaction.
You might not miss the friction of waiting in a long line for your morning coffee,
Definitely not.
but you might miss the 2-minute chat with the friendly barista who knows your name. If an AI pre-orders your coffee, pays for it, and a drone delivers it to you, you've optimized the transaction, but you've completely deleted the human interaction.
So the big insight here, the deep dive, isn't just that businesses are going to get more efficient. It's that if we automate all the boring stuff, we have to be incredibly intentional about not accidentally automating the meaningful stuff along with it.
That's the challenge and the opportunity. The most successful and beloved brands in 2030 will be the ones that master this paradox. They will use AI to eliminate the bad friction, the paperwork, the waiting, the bureaucracy, in order to create more time and space for the good friction.
Good friction. I like that.
Yes, the joy of a thoughtful conversation with a human expert, the shared experience of a live event, the serendipity of discovering something you weren't looking for. The goal should be to use agentic AI to eliminate the friction of bureaucracy so that we can amplify the friction of community and connection.
That is a beautiful way to frame the whole conversation. We use the agents to clear away the clutter of modern life so we can focus on what actually matters.
That is the ultimate promise of the agentic era, if we get it right.
If we get it right. That's always the big if, isn't it? Okay, before we get to our final thoughts, I want to take a moment for our vocabulary spotlight. We've thrown around some pretty high-level English terms today, and since this is Top 1 English Plus, we want to make sure you can walk into your next meeting and use these with total confidence.
Let's do it. These are definitely terms you'll want to have in your vocabulary toolkit for the coming years.
All right, first up, the star of today's show, Agentic AI.
So agentic AI refers to artificial intelligence systems that are capable of autonomous action, planning, and executing multi-step workflows to achieve a goal. The key thing to remember is that it's not just about generating content, it's about taking action. You'd use this when you're talking about the shift from a simple chatbot to a true digital coworker.
Perfect. Next term, Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO.
This is the new SEO. Generative engine optimization is the practice of structuring your online content and data so that it can be easily discovered, interpreted, and most importantly, selected by AI agents and models. You want to use this term when you're discussing how brands need to adapt their marketing to be chosen by AI shoppers.
Excellent. Third on our list, hyper-personalization.
We hear the word personalization all the time, but hyper-personalization is a level up. It means using real-time data and AI to deliver products, services, and experiences that are uniquely tailored to an individual at a specific moment in time. It's not just putting a name on an email, it's creating a unique product bundle for one person's specific life goal right now.
Okay, number 4, enterprise memory.
This is a critical one. Enterprise memory is the digital infrastructure that a company builds to capture and store its history, its data, its decisions, its context. It's the corporate brain that allows AI agents to operate with continuity and a deep understanding of the business.
And our final term today, regenerative business model.
This is the big aspirational idea. A regenerative business model is a strategy where a company's operations are designed not just to sustain current conditions or minimize harm, but to actively restore and revitalize the environment and society. It's about designing a business that leaves the world better than it found it.
Fantastic. 5 really powerful terms for you to add to your advanced English vocabulary. So let's bring this all together. As we wrap up, it really feels like we are standing on the edge of a new era, the agentic era. The business landscape of 2030 looks fundamentally different from today.
It really does. And I think if there's one key takeaway for you to hold on to, it's that this isn't just another incremental tech update. This isn't just about faster computers or slightly smarter chatbots. It's a foundational restructuring of how our economy operates.
From the way we shop, with AI co-shoppers making choices for us.
To the way we work, where human managers will be orchestrating fleets of autonomous digital agents. The very nature of products, jobs, and companies is changing.
And it's so easy to feel, a bit of anxiety about the sheer speed of this change, to feel a bit overwhelmed or even fear being made obsolete. But I think that World 5.0 concept we discussed gives us a really positive way to frame this.
I completely agree. If we can manage to see this technology not as a tool to replace humans, but as a new kind of partner, a coworker that can handle the tasks that humans are frankly not very good at, like processing massive data sets or performing repetitive tasks flawlessly, it frees us up.
It frees us from the drudgery.
Exactly. It frees human talent to focus on the things that we are uniquely good at. Strategy, creativity, empathy, ethical judgment, building relationships. The AI can optimize the supply chain to reduce carbon emissions, but humans must provide the vision for why we want a sustainable planet and what kind of society we want to build on it.
That is a very empowering thought to end on. The future doesn't belong to the AI alone. It belongs to the people who learn how to collaborate with these new agents to solve our biggest and most complex problems.
Well said. The agents are a powerful new tool, but the vision and the values must always remain human.
Thank you so much for this incredible deep dive today. And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this exploration of the agentic economy. If you want to stay ahead of these global trends and continue mastering your advanced English, be sure to subscribe to Top 1 English Plus. We have many more conversations like this coming your way.
Keep learning and stay curious.
Until next time.